What the fuck? Alright, hey, what's going on, Freedomers? Alright, so, I want to say, what's your diet? So, recently I had an idea and understanding in the meeting a couple hours ago, of this, it's based on what Neville Goddard teaches, but, um, he was like, what's your diet? What's your mental diet? 'Cause you have to have the mental diet equivalent uh, to where you want to go. And I had to realize that's in every aspect of life. If you want a healthy relationship, what are you ingesting? What are you reading? What are you studying? Who are you hang around? How many married friends you have? Uh, you know, um, you know, who's eating with you? Um, who who is eating with you? How is your how is your diet affecting you? Is your diet affecting you in a positive way, or is it affecting you in a negative way? Um, Let me keep this video short. Um, when it comes to, like, for instance, one of the things that I have with my business is that the diet from my that I eat every day, meaning what I watch and what I dine with my exercise. So what that means is, um, I'm watching personal development videos, but I'm even though I talk about a lot of personal development, that's where it comes from in my own intuitive knowing. But I don't sell that. So your diet is not in the selling is exercise. So your diet is not in uh, alignment with where you're going. And a lot of people even get that way when they're taking a lot of action. Like, your exercise, you can be exercising and eating junk, right? Meaning you're not eating what's making you healthy anymore. And you're exercising, but you're not, and you're getting results, but you're not eating you're not eating like you once ate. Like, you're not going to conferences, you're not being around people who are better than you, you're not any of that. And I had to realize that's part of your diet. So even with your relationships, um, if you attract a lot of toxic relationships, not only why do you attract that, but what are you ingesting? Who are your friends? How were you raised? How were your parents' relationships, or the people closest to you relationships? Um, what are your references for a good relationship? What are your qualities for a good relationship? Do you know what those are? Do you know what you should value, etc., etc.? Um, when it comes to health, it's the same thing, and that's what it's based off of, where what you eat has to correlate with what you want your body to exercise like. Because as I get as I get more into my health, if you don't uh, if you don't align your what you eat, what you intake, with what you exercise, you're never gonna hit your body goals. So it's the same thing in business, or same thing in relationships. That's why I say, even with children, why do you want to exercise? Meaning, why do you want to participate with a child for 20 years? But the only time you read a book about children is when you were pregnant, trying to figure out pregnancy. That doesn't make sense. So that means your diet is going to be out of whack. Your relationship with it is going to be out of whack because you don't have the proper diet. You know what I'm saying? You're not educated enough. So when you make a shit ton of mistakes, it's because you weren't ingesting. It's hard to make mistakes that other people make when you eat different, when you're conscious of it. Like, I would even get to the level of understanding, like, yo, one of the guys that I watch, Wellness Mogul D, he was like, yo, so you gotta start eating for health. Not eating because it looked good or it tastes good, but when you pick up this fruit, you know what you're eating. You know what it's gonna do for your body. And I think you need to do that as well in your business and in your life. That you're doing things because you know what it's gonna do for your body. You know what it's gonna do for your business. You know what it's gonna do for your relationship. You know what it's gonna do for your peace of mind, for your physical health, for your mental health, and your mental as well. You know, you do things not because you're comfortable with it, because you feel like it, but because you know what it's gonna do. That's when you reach. That's when you reach higher than, I would say, discipline. I would say you analytically know that's what it's gonna produce. So I got to do that, and that's where I'm gonna go in the next 5 months. That I'm doing this because I know it's gonna produce this result in my life, even if that result is not right now. Because it's so important, because like when you just eat because it tastes good, you could be eating something that's detrimental and it just tastes good, you know. So it doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but here's what I would say. Sometimes you do have to come with a strategy and develop that discipline to do things because that's what you know it's going to do for you. And sometimes it doesn't always taste good. It doesn't have the sweetest taste. But you know it's good for your body and it's good for you long term. So you drink it or you eat it you eat it so much that you become tolerable to it. It doesn't bother you. And that's a new perspective of how I'm gonna take my life. I'm not doing it because I like it. And that's what David Goggins says. He said, I don't do it because I like it. And he's an Aquarius. He does it because he know what it's gonna do for him 10 years from now. And when you understand that perspective, you get past the hard days. You get past the I don't feel like it, because you know what it's gonna do 10 years from now. You know what it's going to do 5 months from now. You know what it's going to produce tomorrow if you do it today. Like, for instance, meal prep, right? For my diet, my vegan diet. You know, if I start to meal prep, etc., it stops me from eating outside and spending money. Because I ate already. Right? So, yeah, because you do stuff because you know what it's gonna do for you, right? So when it comes to your diet, what's your intake? Do you intake? And sometimes don't get so confused. Like, in other words, you're eating so much that you're not taking action, and then you get fat, right? But that's why there's a balance, right? So when it comes to business and relationships and mental health and emotional health, what's your intake? What have you been intaking for the past 10 years, 20 years? Have you been detoxing your mind? Have you been detoxing your heart? Have you been detoxing your spirit? You know, and that's a great way to circulate health. Because you have business health, financial health, emotional health, mental health, spiritual health. Have you been cleansing your body? Like, have you been cleansing your business? Have you been cleansing, your relationships? Because in the words of Baba Sabi, he was like, yo, whenever you want to get rid of disease, you have to cleanse the colon first. He did not say change the diet first. to cleanse the colon, then change the diet. Because you have to cleanse everything that was in your body at one point. Right? So that's the same thing when going to the next level. You got to cleanse. You got to go on a fast. You know? And then you got to do things not because you feel like it, but because you know the benefits of what it's going to do for you. So I want you to go to bit.ly/free 15 minutes, all in caps, 15 minutes, free 15 minutes to get more and learn how to make money online. Peace.